Yeah, Levi, erase that blob.
Oh, you caught me. I'm in the hallways of Harvard and working on a very complex math problem. Oh, I must be very smart.
You need therapy from Robin Williams.
Yeah, but I'm gonna reject him at first and be mean to him about his passed away wife.
Those are your defenses from your rough childhood.
Right, but it's not my fault.
It's not your fault. Hey, it's not your fault.
Stop it.
Don't you know
Stop it.
that it's not your fault?
Stop. Oh!
Do you get it now?
Yes, all my problems are fixed.
That's all that it takes.
Then you make a movie about it. That was actually their relationship in real life at the time.
No way.
Oh no.
You know, I didn't realize that it was about a guy named Will Hunting. I thought it was like, hey, you're gonna go hunting? Here's Goodwill. I didn't know. I just didn't know.
You just didn't know. It's not your fault.
There was no way for me to know. Don't you see that?
I see that. I also see that every time you exhale, the breath goes out the eyeball holes of that mask and fogs up your glasses.
Well,
I really hope they can see it, but unlikely.
That's how lions work.
Oh, they breathe out of their eye holes?
Yeah, did you not know that?
I didn't know that, but it's not my fault.
What do you think about the two of us doing a sick dance break?
I feel pretty good. 1, 2, 3, go!
You've got to do better than that, Mr. Levi. Are you okay?
I'm okay, but my marker's not.
You're ruining the dance break. 7:30 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
1, 2, 3, let's go.
Welcome! We have not erased from our previous stream.
Cram session.
Because we crammed so much. So much
many
cramming.
sessions crammed into one.
We probably
session.
had five typical sessions crammed into one. That's
Yeah.
how much cramming there was. I got my SAT this Saturday, LOL. Ethan! You're in the right place.
Good? Not
Yeah.
so good?
No, the scores are he's got it coming up. Because there's one.
Oh, right.
Yes.
This coming Saturday.
Is
That makes
good?
more
It
sense.
should be good.
Ethan, you got to ask us some questions, dude. Because
Big
if you
time.
don't,
We're going to get pissed.
yep, Brady's gonna get pissed and he's gonna do a whole lot of nothing. And I hate it when Brady gets lazy like that.
Wait, do I get lazy when I get angry?
Yeah.
Oh.
You won't like me when I'm
Angry.
Angry.
I don't get anything done.
I'm a bad businessman.
Take me off the payroll immediately. I'm not going to do any work. Ethan, what are you worried about? Have you taken it before? How have your scores been? You don't need to tell us what they are. Just, is there one that you're worried about? Is it both? Are you worried about the math? I appreciate y'all doing this. Student people actually care about us students. Hey, 517-599-9916. I hope that's not your phone number. I hope your little username is not your phone number.
We do care about you guys. You're
Oh,
not
yes.
just numbers to us.
Yes.
51759999166.
Pretty sure that's, isn't that some of the digits of pi? Like, that's like 156th digit to the, what is that? I don't know.
No, it's not.
163rd?
Okay, so you guys have to ask us questions.
That's how we show our care for you.
Yes.
We're not just going to say we care about you. We're
Yes,
going to
we're
show
going
our
to
care.
listen to your questions. We're
Yep.
going to vomit out answers onto this lovely, lovely glass that you can't see.
Every now and then I'm going to grab Levi like this, and I'm going to spin him around. Hey, look at that. That was
Because
fun.
we're adults.
Yes. Adults spin each other.
Yep.
You'll experience that when you get a little older and you start streaming with a complete goofball, which is, it's a part of adulthood, which everyone goes through at some point. Since time immemorial. You got any questions for stream?
No, do you?
Yeah, I got a question.
Yeah?
Yeah. Why don't we get more questions?
Because, I don't know.
How do you change your name? It's very involved legal process. You've got to go to account settings on Twitch, I suppose. Probably want to do that. Why'd you do that?
I wanted to make sure. No, we didn't miss anything, don't worry.
Okay. Well, now our monitor's a little crooked. It's kind of bugging me.
That would bug you.
Oh, will you stop?
Yeah, man. All right.
I
Hey,
mean, on Twitch.
so-
Yes, exactly. No, I'm okay. Yeah, good. Yeah.
Maybe our latency is pretty high or something.
That's good. We want high or low latency.
Low.
Oh.
Okay, so let's check out some SAT questions on Reddit. But 517, we'll call you that, or Ethan, or anybody else. Do you have questions for us specifically? They don't have to be, here's this math question, show me how to do it. It can be, I have trouble on the reading, and then we'll that for you.
Whatever happens, there'll be a lot of fart noises.
Yeah.
Of that we can guarantee.
Predominantly fart noises. Did you know the first fart noise was made on the Mayflower?
Really?
Yeah.
Have they collected that? Is that passed down?
So what happened was everybody got really, really, really malnourished on the Mayflower.
Yeah.
And somebody, they thought it would be better to feed only one person. That's why everybody was so malnourished.
Mm.
They just fed one person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of extra stuff.
Well, they thought that the average food consumed per person would still be fine.
Exactly.
Which it was.
And that metabolism would be the most efficient if they, put all their eggs in one metabolism, if you will.
Okay.
So then that person was kind of leaning on the edge of the boat.
Sure.
That's the boat term for the edge. Is
sure.
The edge of
the
boat.
Yeah.
And they were leaning.
Yeah.
And their hand was just right here, and then they slipped off the edge of the boat towards the water, which is the boat term for the ocean.
The ocean, right? Yeah, I get that.
And they slipped, and it made that sound.
And did that person fall to his or her death?
No, but that was the sound.
Oh, did they fall off the deck or no?
No, that person's still alive.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's the original fart noise maker.
Yeah.
That person.
Yeah.
Wow.
The pitching of the Mayflower.
What's his or her name?
It's more of a thought.
I understand.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't at all. Do you want to...
I'm going to look up some SAT questions Yeah, nobody here from last week is going to be here because they were all here for the ACT.
Right.
And they don't want to do any of this.
Oh, we should have listed an Instagram story.
Okay. Well, why don't you just... Can you link on it? I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Garbage.
This will be fun.
Are you just going to take a video of me teaching something?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got 5 new followers.
You wouldn't do that,
excellent.
would you?
You gotta add to our story. Here we go. We're streaming right now. You should come watch us. Levi, say something.
Where am I supposed to be looking?
I don't know.
Oh, at the camera, right?
Here.
No, it's confusing. I'll look in the reflection. Is polynomial division common on the ACT? Hey, here in the moment. You turn it off.
Sorry.
Polynomial, it's not common, no. And there's almost always a way around it. But you should know how to do it. It would help you.
That's good.
Would you like to talk about polynomial long division here in the moment?
Oh, well, there you go, Levi.
Yeah.
It's on the October SAT. You mean the October ACT? Yes. Okay, very good. You caught yourself.
Yeah, it's not common, but you might need to know it.
Do you remember what the kind of question was?
Was it do polynomial long division or else?
Didn't know how to do it.
Let's talk about it.
I gotta say, Levi, this emphasis on not knowing what's it called? Synthetic division. That's what they always want you to do. I mean, at least
Synthetic?
No. They always want you to divide by a linear factor. I don't remember. I think they divided a quad function by x minus 1 or something similar. Very good. Well, Levi's gonna show you the proverbial ropes.
Yeah, so there is synthetic division, it's just not as useful.
Yes,
But no, it's not
fast.
It's okay.
It's
fine.
so fast.
It's fine.
And most of the time, look, they're dividing by x minus 1.
Okay.
Do you know how to do it?
Synthetic?
Yes. Have you ever learned? That's why, because you never learned how to do it.
I have learned, but then I decided there's no point.
That's not true.
Okay.
That's not true at all.
It's this, right? Okay, so let's say we're doing, let's keep it simple. X squared plus 2x minus 1 plus 1. Yeah?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
So if we're dividing this
We've
by
done this before in the
x
competition.
X plus 1.
Yes.
So you do negative 1 here.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And then you have
1, 2, 1.
You have 1, 2, and 1. 1, 2, and 1. You move this 1 down here.
Yep, multiply.
And you multiply those two. Yeah, see, I remember.
All right, we'll keep going.
And then you add to 1. And then you multiply again, and then you add. So it works.
It works. So what does this mean?
It means x minus 1, x plus 1.
Yeah. See how fast that was?
Yes.
See?
Yes. It's very fast.
I just don't understand your animosity towards synthetic division.
No.
I don't. What do you
You
mean, no?
have animosity towards me for not liking it,
Right.
and I defend myself. But that animosity is not towards synthetic division, it's towards you as a person.
And I represent synthetic division.
No, you dissociate and then think you are synthetic division.
Isn't
Because
that
you
what-
take it as personal when I don't like something you like.
Isn't that what representation is? Dissociating and becoming what you represent?
It's not.
Identifying? Okay.
Okay, so this is synthetic division. Polynomial long division is like long division. I think, okay, do you want to do that first or do you want to do this first? We should do both.
Well, the thing is you can't divide by a linear factor where the coefficients.
I know.
Yeah.
Brady.
I don't like the way you just said my name
Yeah?
at all.
Does it make you feel how you should feel right now?
How I should feel?
Okay, so the way you do normal polynomial long division is you're always looking at this term and then whatever is the biggest here. It's just like long division. If you don't remember long division, this is going to be way more challenging.
Do you want us to review long division?
How do you feel about long
Here
division?
in the moment, tell us.
We just want to stop fighting.
If you remember it well.
The only thing we can agree on is how much we want you to learn. Please review both.
Got it.
Okay, so long division 7, 8, 6. Yeah, sure. Divided by 3. So the way this works is we say, how many times does 3 go into 7? Goes in twice. Thanks, Brady. So then you do 2 times 3. You get 6. You subtract that from this. You get a 1 left over from the 7. You bring down the 8. Then you do 3. How many times does 3 go into 18? Oh, 6 times. That's perfect. So 6 times 3 is 18. We subtract 18. We get 0 and 0. Bring down the 6. How many times does 3 go into 6? Twice. And then, you can multiply, you get 6, and then you're done, because that's 0.
Quick review. What'd you think? Is
How's
that
that?
ringing any bells? Any internal bells?
Has your bell been rung?
Yes. We can assign someone.
Cool.
Levi.
Shoot.
Oh, God.
It's getting everywhere.
I know, but it's been a while. You start using a calculator, you lose touch with your 5th grade self. Pretty soon you're hanging out with the bad kids behind school in the alleyway, and you're, I don't know.
Could you guys believe that Brady and I were like the meanest kids in high school?
Speak for yourself, man.
We were very mean kids in high school. Remember? We were the bullies.
I remember it differently.
Oh.
Yeah.
You would.
Yeah. Because I want to try to shield myself. Hey! 17 Levi 17? Who is that? Do you know that person? Is that you?
Thank you for the follow. It's not me. I'm right here.
Oh. Maybe someone just followed us from Instagram.
I really hope your name is actually Levi and not...
Wait, we got to do an Instagram story.
I thought we did.
No, you were like, no, I need to look at the reflection.
Oh,
and you
so
told me
then-
to stop.
Okay.
Okay.
So then here, it's the same thing. 2x goes into 16x to the 4th.
We're streaming.
We're streaming? Great. Hello. 2x. Okay. So 2x goes into 16x to the 4th. 16x to the 4th divided by 2x, that would be 8x cubed. Does that make sense, that 2x goes into 16x to the 4th, 8x cubed times?
Yeah, does that make sense?
Oh.
Oh.
Got it. I'm going to call you 17.
Oh! Levi!
Is your name actually Levi? My name is actually Levi.
Yeah. Most Levi's names
Do you
are
pronounce it
actually-
Levi or Levi, or do you pronounce it 17 Levi 17?
I call him Leave-word sometimes.
Yeah.
No, Edward, Levi, Leave-word. It makes sense if you don't think about it at all.
here in the moment, how do you feel about this? The first step, just like we did, how many times does 3 go into 7? Great. Okay, so now we do the multiplication down. So 8x cubed times 2x would be the 16x to the 4th. We subtract that, and then we get 0. So great. Ooh, I lied. So we have to do 8x cubed times this entire thing. So 8x cubed, we distribute. 8x cubed times 2x gives you negative, or 16x to the 4th. Then we have 8x cubed times negative 3. So that is minus 24x cubed.
In parentheses.
And this whole thing is subtracted. So now we have to be very, very careful. We subtract the 16x cubed, but then we're doing negative 2x cubed minus, I think I said 16x to the, it should be to the 4th. Okay, negative 2x cubed minus a negative 24x cubed, which would give us positive 2x cubed. How do you feel about that?
Arnie, strictly SAT, ACT, as opposed to what, differential calculus? We can't do that, Arnie. We can't. This is...
Arnward, if nobody is asking us questions after we do this long division, synthetic division stuff, Brady will work with you one-on-one for 2 hours?
3.
3? You want to do 3?
You have to pay
hours?
up to 2 hours, but if you decide to go over 3 hours, the whole thing is free. That's the official rule.
Here in the moment, how are you feeling here?
Cargoes of cotton or burdened? One's a noun, one's an adjective. Well, I think I need to know the sentence. It's not...
Okay, yeah. Cargoes of cotton. Cotton doesn't sound very heavy to me. Cargoes doesn't necessarily imply heaviness. Burdened implies that something is heavy.
Yeah, but you have 3 tons of cotton.
But
That's pretty heavy.
there's a lot of play here.
Hey,
Jerklump, hello, how are you? Sweet Jerklump. Okay, so here in the moment. Have you lost interest in this? Do you want us to keep doing this or no? Hello? Did my computer die? Can you check that? Keep going. Okay, so we have 22x cubed now. Okay, now we're doing the same thing again. Instead of 16x to the 4th being up front, now we have 22x cubed. So how many times does 2x go into 22x cubed? That would be a positive 11x squared. Yeah, that's my phone. Can you find where that is? No, it's hell.
There it is. It's Hannerfeld, dude.
Oh, that's fine. Don't say that.
Sorry.
That's synthetic. This is polynomial long division. Okay, so this would be 11x squared. Now we multiply it by this entire thing here again. We get 22x cubed. And then 11x squared times negative 3 is negative 33x squared.
Levi, 17. Substituting your equations, yes. That's the bread and butter of algebra. Keep going, Levi.
And now here we have a plus x squared. I'm going to bring that down so it's a little clearer what's going on. We're going to subtract this whole thing again. Just like we subtracted up here, we're going to subtract again down here. This goes to 0. And now we have x squared minus negative 33x squared. So that will be positive 34x squared. I'm just failing with second term every time.
It's okay, man. You didn't know.
I don't like it when you say things to me that make me not like things you say to me. You know? Don't say anything. So we get plus 34x squared. Let's bring down the x just for fun. Now, how many times does 2x go into 34x squared? It would be 17x times, positive. If it's ever negative, it's just, make it a negative. Just make sure you carry that through. 17x times 2x is 34x squared. 17x times negative 3 is 51x. Yes, so minus 51x. We're going to subtract that entire thing. This just goes to 0. And then there we're going to get plus 52x squared. Or plus 52x. I'm just going to pull this up here. So now we have 52x.
You wrote 5x, Levi.
Sorry, bird.
I want to start with what Levi 17 wants.
Can you go over here? Thank you. So I'm just going to bring this 52x over here. So we have 52. What the heck? Here in the moment. How are you doing with this, by the way? Is his name actually Levi?
That's what he/she
That's
says.
exciting. You are following. Very good. So we have 52x. Now I'm going to put the -2 at the end here. We're going to do this same thing again. How many times does 2x go into 52x? It'll go in 26 times. I'm going to write that over here. 26 times 2x will be 52x. 26 times -3 is -60 minus 18, so -78. We're going to subtract that whole thing. We get nothing here, and then we get plus 76. So the answer to this division of this whole thing divided by that thing there will be 8x cubed plus 11x squared plus 17x plus 26 with a remainder of 26. Or you can write it as plus 26 over 2x minus 3, which was the divisor at the beginning.
Arnie just subscribed.
Arnie?
Hold this, you fool.
I'll hold it. How do you feel about this whole thing here in the moment? You feeling good about it? I feel like a child wearing this. Awesome. I'm glad that helped. We'll do synthetic division next. Now, polynomial long division works for any polynomials. Synthetic division is so much faster, but it doesn't work for just any polynomial. The divisor has to be a linear.
Well done, Arnie678. Well done.
How you feeling about that? That's a new one. It's very new, Bert.
Yeah, you look kind of like you are wearing that hat.
Yeah, I was. My business partner lent it to me to be a doofus.
So, Levi.
Yes, Bert.
No, not you. The other
Oh.
Levi.
Don't call him me. Call him 17.
You solve for y. Excellent. That is the first step in substitution. The thing that you have that's set equal to y, 3x minus 11, you substitute that in for y in the other equation. So I rewrote this equation, but instead of writing y, I wrote 3x minus 11. That is the substitution right there. Then you have an equation that only has x values, which means you can actually solve it. Does the ACD require outside knowledge for the science section? A little bit, yes.
It's a significant amount.
Would you like to talk about it? I'm guessing you do, since you brought it up, and I am fully prepared to do that. Levi, then you would just solve this thing. So you got 15x minus
Stop
55.
saying that.
What?
Call him something else.
I know. 17 Levi 17?
Yeah, or 17, or Levi 17, or something. Because I just keep thinking you're talking to me.
Well, then I'll just specify that I'm not talking to you.
Okay.
All right, so this is going to be 8x equals 56. X is equal to 7. Once you solve for one of the variables, x, you could just throw this into the one that you already solved for with y. 3 times x minus 11. 3 times 7, 21, minus 11, 10. Y is equal to 10, and you are donezo. Okay? 17 works. All right, I'll call you 17. That sounds
Pissed, dude.
good. You pissed?
I'm pissed.
Why are you pissed?
I'm pissed, dude.
Why?
I'm pissed.
Why are you pissed?
I just told you I'm pissed.
Yeah, I'm asking you why. I want a reason.
Because I'm pissed. I was pissed a minute ago, and now I'm pissed.
I want to slap you in the slap zone.
Don't slap me in the slap zone, dude.
I want to do it.
Can I ask you a specific question? Yes.
Yes.
Can
Here in the moment, do you want me to go through my spiel on outside science knowledge? Because I'll do it.
I think Here in the Moment wants a specific question answered.
Yes. Yep, okay, so cell biology. The powerhouse of the cell that gives it energy is the mitochondrion, or mitochondria for plural. That's the thing that uses glucose to produce ATP, which is the cellular energy molecule. That's a little bit... Yes, chloroplasts create glucose from sunlight, water, carbon dioxide. And then the glucose is then used up in the mitochondrion of plant cells as well. So chloroplasts are very important in generating the fuel.
Hey,
but then
Jerklump, where is your question from? Is it from one of the tests down below?
I've seen that question before.
Yes. Yeah. What test? Which test?
Yeah, what test, huh? Yeah,
What
see?
test, yeah?
Why doesn't it tell us how many people are watching?
Because I shut that off. So
Why?
I didn't keep looking at it.
Really?
No.
No, you
But
won't.
I'm not unhappy that it's gone.
What is SAT/ACT? Arnie, where are you from? Not the United States. It is the test that high schoolers take to have a score that they can submit to colleges during their application process. Yeah, so when you applied to uni, did you have to take some kind of a test that you then submitted the scores from to the schools? Oh, it's pre-uni. Yeah. Juniors in high school mostly, and then some seniors as well. Yeah, exactly. Levels.
Together? The number 1001 is the product of the prime numbers 7, 11, and 13. Knowing this, what is the prime factorization of 30,030?
Ooh. Wow.
Okay, so
Wow.
prime factorization, do you know what that is, Jerklump? If you're not entirely sure, that's fine. My guess is your best guess is probably pretty close if you're using the words there. What would you guess prime factorization is?
This isn't tutoring, man. We could just start showing it. Looks like E, factorization. Yes, it is. Oh, it's factorizing. Take a number, you break it up into its factors. Does not matter how you break it apart until it gets to many primes. That's right. Yeah, so 60, one of the ways to break it up is 6 and 10. Those are both not prime, so we can continue, which means they're composite if they're not prime. 6 can be broken up into 3 and 2. 10 can be broken up into 5 and 2. So these four numbers are the prime factors of 60. We would say that 60 is 2 squared times 3 times 5. Because that's what the smallest pieces of it are. So 1001 is broken up into 7, 11, and 13. What is the connection between 30,030 and 1001, Levi?
Well, you can maybe recognize that if you multiply 1001 by 30, you get to 30,000. Okay, let me just write this up.
30.
What did you see Arnie's thing?
Arnie.
1001 times 30 equals 30,030. Dang it!
What's Arnie's thing?
What Arnie said.
Looks like E?
Oh no, sorry, 17 / me.
I have no idea, and I'd like to know.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. Maybe probably just about prime factorization.
Oh, okay.
30,030. Okay, so we want the prime we know the prime factorization of this is 7, 11, 13. So that means that the prime factorization of this will also have a 7, an 11, and a 13. But there's other stuff here, right? There's another, the rest of the factors, however many there are, need to be the factors of 30. If that makes sense, that would be great. If it doesn't make sense, I will explain it another way. And you could figure this out. You don't have to recognize that it's 30. You could just do the division and see how many times does one, do 30,030 divided by 1001, you would get 30. So the approach here is breaking down 30 into its prime factors, which are 3, 2, and 5. And let's break it down nice and slow.
Ready? I'm going to give you a beat.
So no, I don't. So we have 3 and 10, which then further break down into 3, 2, and 5. So those are the prime factors of 30. So the prime factors of everything are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and 13.
Do you know how boring you sound
if we're going in ascending odor.
Bueller.
Which means
Anybody?
that the answer is E.
It's a me. The answer E. Rio.
How does that sound, Jerklump? How do you feel about this?
Do you love it?
Do you hate
it?
Do you want to give it
Your food.
instead of
He's
your
got
children?
it.
Very good.
Firstborn son is more than good.
He
It's
gets your
great.
land
He gets
when you die.
primogeniture, the law of the land. It just seems to take a long time to solve. Yeah, it does. If you multiply the factors of the previous answers together, you're not going to get to 30,030. But if you understand that 30,030 is 1,001 times 30, you're halfway there. You just got to break up 30, and then you got all of them. Ow! I mean, once you practice it, you can see it trait away. Trait away.
Yes.
That sounds like a trade away. What does that sound like? Like a cool startup? Trade away? Trait away.
I don't know, man. Okay, we need more questions. Otherwise, we're going to have to do Arnie's crazy question, which Brady doesn't want to do. He told me in confidence.
I didn't tell you that.
You
I told
did.
you very unconfidently.
Okay.
You got any questions in the Discord?
I don't know. Only Jerk.
Check the Discord, Levi.
No questions in the Discord.
No.
Definitely not.
No. Curious. Sorry, sir, but
Very.
what's curious? The phoenix whose feather is in your wand gave one other feather. Just one. And it's curious to me that the wand that has that other feather gave you that scar!
So loud, dude.
Why? That's what he did in the movie. Ollivander starts laughing maniacally. Do you not watch the movie? He did that in the book. He was even louder in the book. Where are you going? You just gonna sit down? Levi, what do I do?
Get a new business partner.
I'm a wreck without you. I need you, Levi. Sometimes I get so scared. 17. We do all sections of the SAT and ACT. We do the English section, the reading section, the science section. Both of them. If you know the reference, I appreciate you. Well, that's Nam. Every sin is real, fresh, and original. Well, that's Nam. Yeah, Levi. Not you, Levi. 17. Do all of it. You want to do my question? Arnie, have you posted it? Is it one of the previous ones? Okay. I can't promise that I'll be able to do it. And if somebody else comes along and wants us to do something ACT, SAT related, our hands are tied. You gotta understand. We don't like it either. Just, words come down from top brass. This is what we have to do. Yeah, you get it. Very good. Glad. But yeah, still no promises we'll even be able to solve it. Gonna give myself some leeway. So it shouldn't take long. Alright. Oh, well, this looks interesting. Let's see. I'm gonna guess right now we will not be able to do it, but we'll see. Okay, solve the following ordinary differential equations. Oh, that is some excellent stuff. Yes, okay. Big time. That's the stuff that we love all the time.
Okay, I can't promise anything. I'm not even sure if I remember how to do this correctly, but I'll take a stab at it. Just a little stab. I honestly, I don't think I can do this, but let's see if you move this term to the other side. Oh yeah, that looks doable. Does it? I think so. Have you gotten to the differential equations part yet?
Well, if you move that to one side, the other to the other side, and then you then put it as dy dx equals. No.
So you're right about that. You have to divide this underneath.
Yeah. So you go there and then there, so this goes on top.
And then you've got to take the integral with respect to x. Pretty sure that's what happens on both sides. And then that'll get you y.
This is not on the SAT or ACT, so you don't have to worry about it.
And I don't know if we're even doing this right, but that's where I am.
Then do that.
Then do that. Yeah, yep, nope, 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 nope.
Don't quite remember.
Sorry.
Something along those lines.
It's been a while.
You could Wolfram Alpha this. See how that goes.
Wolfram Alpha.
It's what's for breakfast. Watch your language. You learned it today. Nice. Wolfram Alpha. Oh.
Arnie, you're in for a great night.
It is a very smart website. Thank you for the apology. I would accept it more fully if... I will only accept it if you ask more questions.
Wait a sec. No, you're supposed to have the dy's. All I remember is separation of variables. Hold on. You're supposed to get all the y's on one side and all the x's on the other. So I think...
Yes, here in the moment. What would you like? I will give you a second. Do you have any questions, Jerklump? You asked one. How are you on the English section, Jerklump? Did Jerklump take the test yesterday or on Saturday?
I thought you were in charge of knowing that.
Yes, I'm normally
Sorry,
in charge
this
of
is
knowing.
above our pay grade.
Far above the pay grade.
What about second pay grade? Are you a Lord of the Rings fan?
Until March. Second breakfast.
Are you a Lord of the Rings fan?
I hated The Hobbit.
Yeah,
Reading it.
Yeah.
I mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did. I actually watched the movie. I've not watched the 3 actual Lord of the Rings movies.
Are you serious?
I'm so serious.
Why?
I never watched them.
Why?
I've actually seen many, like they're on TV all the time, right? So I saw them a little bit growing up, like different pieces. But I've never seen the 3rd one for sure. I've seen the beginning of the 1st one many times. I read the first 2 books.
That doesn't. The movies, man.
I read the first 2 books.
They're some of the best movie adaptations of books ever. They're cinematic masterpieces.
You're a cinematic masterpiece.
No, I'm not.
Oh.
If that's what you thought Lord of the Rings was like, which is me, a cinematic masterpiece, that's why.
I'm very sorry, me.
The question of chronological order in February 9th is a school.
Sure, we can do a school one. Oh, I see. It's not a question. That's
It's
a
not a
test.
question. It's a test.
It's a question. It's not a test.
We can do a school one though.
We can do a school one.
Hey,
we can do a school one.
Ho. And those are the scales.
Those are the scales that you can sing to your tutors when you study this thing.
Great.
Okay, we need a question. Here in the moment is what tips are for English questions asking about chronological order? Oh,
Are you talking about sentence ordering?
That is a oh yeah. Do you mean sentence ordering, or when they say which of these things comes first chronologically, like they ask in that
reading
swimming
section.
essay? Are you talking about the reading section? You talking about the no?
All right, so
reading
they're talking
section.
the reading section, not the English section. Yeah. You should, Yeah.
So they're seldom going to ask that question for a passage that is just totally chronological. I would say do that question last, unless you're very, very sure. I forget if you were one of the people who asked about, skimming or ways to get through the passages more quickly. What I would say, yeah. So the chronological order ones, they're very difficult to know if you're skimming because you may jump over where they say, okay, back then, because that's what they normally do in the past or in the future. Past is more of a thing where there are flashbacks. But introducing those past things are normally at the beginning of paragraphs, so that can help. You should probably be reading the beginning of every paragraph unless there's a bunch of dialogue going on. But dialogue's pretty easy to get through quickly. So if you have trouble with the chronological order questions, then leave them for last. Or you could also do this. You could read all the questions first, just skim the questions, look for anything that says chronological order, so you have that in your head when you actually read the passage. Jerklump, I would recommend for you to try both of the ways the way Brady talked about, the way I talked about, see how other people talk about things, and that way you're figuring out the best way for you, because the best way that we've talked, the way that I like doesn't work for maybe most other people. I don't know. I give people a bunch of ways, and then you got to try them all. And they different approaches for skimming or not skimming work on different types of passages as well. Skimming is difficult to do for the prose passage, the story one. Vinroy! Hi, Vinroy, how are you?
Vinroy?
Yeah. How's it going?
Vinroy. That's a name I haven't heard in years.
How are you, Vinroy?
Jerklump, yeah, it's a pretty
Has it been-
solid strategy.
9 months or something?
Vinroy has had a child.
Vinroy, your child looks so like you.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's got a 7 after its name, just like you.
Yeah, Vinroy 8.
Oh. Vinroy, in college.
Nice.
Remember when Vinroy was ours?
Yes. Vinroy was one of watched the stream last fall and was a senior in high school.
And then we allowed Vinroy to just, fly out of the nest. And apparently he flew to UNC Chapel Hill.
Yes, much too close to the sun.
Or just one of the UNCs. There's a couple of UNCs, right?
No.
There's only Chapel Hill?
Oh, maybe UNC... Oh, there's UNC Chapel Hill. You're right. There is another one. I forget what it's called.
Preemed. Pre-farm. Hey, he's going to agriculture.
Yeah, UNC's so irrelevant.
Everyone used to that preemie. Preenie? Preenie. Let me tell you guys a little story about Levi.
No.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'll tell
Okay.
it. So, when babies are born premature, they call them preemies because it's short for premature. Levi thought they were saying preenie with an N. And I said, why do you think they would call them preenie? And he says, prenatal, which means, of course, before birth. Like you're taking prenatal vitamins because you haven't given birth yet. So somehow these babies that were born early were born before their birth.
Yeah,
which
no,
makes,
like
which makes
prema-
a slight amount of sense, but at the same time, no.
Premature.
That's not right.
They were born prematurely.
Prematurely, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Why do I put up with you?
Because I pay you so much money to stream with me.
Is that right?
Yeah, you'll see it one day. The money, I'm putting it in an escrow account.
Escrow?
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's something. Your father would probably know.
Vinroy, this is awesome. It's good to see your name on the screen again.
So very good. Extremely good.
Do you see how the channel has grown?
It is fewer people than Vinroy.
Yeah.
Last saw.
Vinroy, can I talk about your weight?
What?
Can I talk about your weight?
No, that's weird. Why
Right.
would you?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Okay.
Brady and I have actually shrunk since the last time you saw us because we moved the screen. We propped up the board, so I don't know if we look shorter to you.
A lot of things have changed, Vinroy.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
I
You
have
had a
long hair
child.
now.
You're first. First of many, hopefully.
Look at all this hair, Vinroy. Look at all that.
Yeah.
That? Look at that. Whoa. Oh, no.
Did you guys not know that Brady had all that hair? Did you think he just... That's right.
That's why I wear a hat now. Yeah, about that, Vinroy. Time has passed, making you feel old.
Tui.
I'm punching,
Oh,
because
right.
time has passed. Think about it.
Like Finn the Human. It's like that.
It is like Finn the Human. I'm not sure what that is a reference to.
I feel like it's a animated TV show reference.
Something that you never saw. Finn the
Sorry,
Human.
here in the moment.
There's some things that we've seen that actually I've seen that Levi's not. Hey, Vinroy! Whoa! Big spender. We still eat bits, by the way, Vinroy. Sorry, I didn't leave any bits for you.
That's okay. I like my bits later.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to get any of those bits because I ate them all.
No, you didn't.
Oh, you're right. There's 3 more. Why? What? Why do we not know? Why the noise?
That's what. It's the crunching of them.
Yeah, that's how you eat bits.
Yeah.
What kind of a question is that?
Silly question. Here in the moment. Here in the moment. You promised me a question. I still have not forgiven you fully. So I need a question. Bring your questions. Jerklump, bring your questions.
Here in the moment, I don't know how you eat bits, but that's the way I was taught to eat bits by my father, who was taught by his father. It goes all the way
Back
until
to the Mayflower.
back to the Mayflower.
Yeah, on the edge of the boat.
And there were no dads before that. And that was the first dad on a Mayflower.
And the first bits.
Yeah. So I don't know what to tell you.
Thank you, Jerklump. Oh yeah.
I love this one.
I think this is 74F as well.
Hope so.
Thank you so, Milord. What? Okay, I'm going to pull up Jerklump's question in a very hot second. In a second, is it going to be very hot?
I hope so.
Was this on 74F, by the way? I sure hope so. Oh, I thought it was 72C. No. Okay, 74F, I think. Okay, anyway, I have it, so I will bring it up on the screen. Did that the wrong way, didn't I? Give me just a moment. I'll be right with you.
Is that visible for everybody? It's important that everybody becomes a teacher. That way we don't have to deal with non-teachers, you know? Okay, so lightning in the sand. We got that. Let me see where this question is. This one here, yeah? Okay, so we're doing number 32. What type of question is that? That's got to be step one every single time. Don't feel like it wastes time. It doesn't, because you'll get really, really fast at it. You don't have to write it down necessarily, but I'm going to. We are being tested here on parentheses, on commas. Seems like it. All the words are exactly the same. So we have parentheses, we have commas, which means that we need to look at independent clauses and very likely non-essentials. Those are the two things we're going to be looking for. Parentheses are only used for non-essentials, and you need to figure out what your independent clause is and if you can have a non-essential in or around it. So, Vinroy, if you have any questions, please let us know. All right. Also, I don't know if we said congrats on getting into UNC. That's awesome. I don't remember saying that. Okay, so 32. In this sentence over here, we have a fulgurite is created in 1 explosive second by fusion and pressure as sand heated by a lightning blast melts and becomes glass. Kind of read that without any punctuation in there at all, and that's fine. The independent clause is certainly at the beginning, right? We have a fulgurite is created in 1 explosive second. That, fulgurite is created. That's the independent clause. Now, do we want to keep things with it? So, a fulgurite is created in 1 explosive second by fusion and pressure as sand heated by lightning blasts melts and becomes glass. Notice, there's not a great way to go about this and pay attention and try to evaluate a sentence without any punctuation, because there's no starting point. Let's start with the easiest punctuation, which is definitely parentheses. Do we want to have parentheses here, like in G? G has by a lightning blast. That seems like a little idea to itself. So let's take it out and see how this sentence goes. A fulgurite is created in 1 explosive second by fusion and pressure as sand heated melts and becomes glass. I don't think that really works. Sand heated and melts. Sorry, sand heated as sand heated melts and what is the parentheses? Yeah, as sand heated melts and becomes glass. Well, we want to say it's heated by a lightning blast, and if you take out by a lightning blast, you just have heated, but then heated melts. There's no good there. What is... we should look that up. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. So, let's get rid of G. And now we have F, H, and J. Let's stay away from J because it has no punctuation whatsoever. There's no good starting point. Let's try A, or F, which is a comma after melts. We have to go through the 4 uses of commas. If you're not doing that, you're approaching commas too slowly. Sometimes it jumps out at you, and if you're very, very confident with commas, awesome. If you're not, this is the way to do it. Go through the 4 uses, which are listing, comma, fanboys, DC, comma, IC, and then non-essentials. Is this a listing comma? No, it's not. I don't know what it would be listing. So it's not a listing comma. I do see it could be comma, fanboys, but that doesn't make sense. Comma, fanboys has to separate 2 independent clauses. After this comma and in this sentence, we would have becomes glass. That's certainly not an independent clause. So it can't be comma, fanboys. DC, comma, IC, we just said that after the comma, we don't have an independent clause, and becomes glass is not an independent clause, so DC, comma, IC is no good. So this must be a comma making something a non-essential. I don't think, so now there's only 1 comma, so that means everything before it has to be the independent clause with a non-essential at the end, or vice versa. But we know the IC has to come before because it can't come after. We just proved that in the other 2 possible uses of commas. So let's see how this works if everything after it is a non-essential, which means let's just read the independent clause, supposed independent clause, up until that comma after the word melts.
A fulgurite is created in 1 explosive second by fusion and pressure as sand heated by lightning blasts melts. Yeah, I think it's fine, actually, but and becomes glass is too much information to lose. We want it to melt and become glass. Those two things are both very important. So a non-essential has to be able to be taken out grammatically, and we can't lose too much. Discord, the link is down below, Vinroy, and that's, oh, it feels so good to say your name. It's just such a blast from the past. Down below, it's a messaging. Thank you, Jerklump. Okay, so I don't like F because it's not a non-essential. We need that last piece. We want to say that it becomes glass. That's a big new piece of information. That leaves us with J, what is it, H and J. So H has 2 commas around after sand and after melts. So what types of commas are these? They're not listing commas. They're not comma fanboys. We got rid of that. Could they be DC, comma IC? No, you got 2 of them, so that really wouldn't work. Then it's got to be non-essential. The non-essential in this case would be in between the commas, so let's take them out and see how this goes. A fulgurite is created in 1 explosive second by fusion and pressure as sand and becomes glass. If you're not paying enough attention, you might say as sand becomes glass, but it's not. It's as sand and becomes glass. That's no good either. So we just got rid of F, G, and H, leaving us with J. Now, this one is weird. You want to break up the sentence, I assume, because there's a lot of information in it. But all of these things build on the things before them. So we have a fulgurite is created in 1 explosive second by this. Okay? It's created by fusion and pressure as sand heated by lightning blasts. Heated by a lightning blast. If you made that a non-essential, that would be good, but that's not an option. So as sand heated by a lightning blast melts and becomes glass. So as this thing happens, it's created by fusion and pressure as sand melts and becomes glass. That's what's being said here. You may not recognize that at the beginning. That's why you shouldn't be looking at J anyway, because there's no commas. It doesn't help you. And it's really hard to know exactly what they're going for. Try to eliminate answers. Jerklump, does that make sense? You should be trying to say, okay, let's look at the easy punctuation first, because I know the rules for them. You eliminate things as you go. Your understanding of the sentence as a whole will grow as you go further into the question. Please let me know if you have any follow-up questions on that. I think this is a difficult question. I like it because it's not, okay, I know exactly, oh, fanboys got clear. Awesome. Yeah, fanboys, not only is it one of the 4 ways to separate independent clauses, but if you have comma fanboys, you have to be separating independent clauses. The only time that you might not be is if you have, lions, tigers, and bears scare me. So you could say that, but these are listing commas. This is the Oxford comma here with between tigers and. So fanboy commas would work if the second clause is independent. Yes, you need 2. You need an independent clause, and then you need the comma fanboys, and then you need another independent clause to be able to use a comma fanboys. Now, comma and or comma or, if it's in a list, just keep an eye on that. Have a good night. Yeah, tune in as much as you can, or as much as you want. But bring your questions. I don't know if you've already left at this point. Bring your questions. Okay. Do you have any more questions on this page specifically, Jerklump? Anything you want to follow up on? Ideally, since you have a while, Jerklump, you're not taking the test until March. That's awesome. What you should be doing is not trying to do super well on these tests at this point. You don't need to be getting good scores on your practice. So yeah, you can have a comma next to a fanboy, but you have to make sure that you're in this situation. I had one on the chronological order in the English section. This English section or the reading section? On the ACT, it's English, math, reading. Reading, okay. Ow.
Ow. Yeah, I will pull that up. We can do that. Is it this reading section? Was it this? What's happening? I can't give out my brain. I've tried it before. Couldn't get it removed. Number 2. I ignored you. I'm not ignoring you. I just can't. I can't let it be caressed. It's we've done it. Can I photocopy it? Yes, Vinroy, I can photocopy it. That's a great idea. Great idea. Okay. Jerk lump. Overall, what I want you to be doing, what I recommend at least that you do when you're studying for the ACT, is every question that you do not, especially if you're not timing yourself. If you're timing yourself on a section because you're seeing, okay, where am I at timed at this point in time? Sure, don't do this. But if you're just practicing, you should always try to identify why each wrong answer is wrong. Now, in math, there's not really any point there, but in the English and the reading, there's always a reason why they're wrong, and the science. They all have reasons why they're wrong, not just why there's a better answer. So if you can identify why things are wrong, what rule they break, it makes you way better at the test. That is how tutors get very good at the test, because they have to explain to people all the time why this answer is wrong. And so they can pick out why answers are wrong really fast. It makes you very accurate and very fast if over, 5 months, 3-4 months, however long you're really going to study for this, if you're picking out why wrong answers are wrong and saying that specifically, it makes you really good at this test. In English, some answers seem to be either all wrong or all right. Okay, so just to clarify, do you mean English is in the reading section or English is in the English section, section 1? I mean, for sure, one of the 4 answers will always be all right. That's true. You meant both. Okay, so we can talk about that. It needs to be all correct for it to be the right answer. If any one piece is off, then it's going to be wrong. So let's look at number 2. Which of the following events mentioned in the passage happened first chronologically? So which actually happened first? So we have F, the narrator stood on the blocks at the Sunday time trial his senior year. So we're actually comparing these answers directly to each other. So stood on the blocks at the Sunday time trial his senior year. So we have blocks, or stood on blocks at time trial. That's F? Yes, F. G is leapt out over the diving well in late September. Diving well in September. H, swam 500-yard freestyle in the high school regional meet as a senior. So regional meet. These are both senior year. And then J, heard a boy from the rival school cheering. Rival boy cheer. The common question before with the fulgurites and whatnot, I can go back and I can tell you specifically what was wrong for each one. It'll be over in 200 days. Yeah. So, stood on the blocks at the time trial, diving well in September, regional meet, and then rival boy cheer. Okay. Ideally, you don't read the entire passage again. You got the fulgurites now. Okay, cool. when you're going back looking for this stuff, oh, I'm sorry. This is J, my bad. So now we have F, G, H, and J. When you're going back, remember that all of these answer choices are valid for some reason. I have never seen a question where they just pull something out of thin air entirely. All of these things are in the text. They happened at some point. If you can't find one of them, leave the question, hopefully come back to it later when some other question that you're working on shows you, oh, there's that thing about him being on the blocks at the time trial. So I think H is in the first paragraph. We need to find that regional meat.
What about those regional vegetables?
Oh my gosh, Brady.
What?
Okay, so I'd come in. I'm just reading the first paragraph now. I don't see the regional meat part. There was a time trial, sure. At the bottom here, we have the rival boy cheering. So that's right here, after he's begun to swim. At the beginning of the second paragraph here, we have I stood up on the blocks. I was the only one in the race. I think that's here. Stood on the blocks at the time trial. This is setting up his time trial. Here's him on the blocks. Here's the rival boy cheering after he's dove in the pool, after he has dived in the pool. Dove in? I don't know. He dove. He stood on the blocks. He dove in the pool. The rival boy cheered, which means that the rival boy cheered is wrong because we want the first thing chronologically. The regional meat, I feel like the regional meat was in the first paragraph, but I don't see it. Oh yeah, line 5. We have, at my high school regional meet, I had come within 0.3 of a second in the 500-yard freestyle. So that was actually before this. That's great. So that means that the time trial thing is not the first thing because he was at the regional meet where he failed to qualify. And that's why he's at this time trial now, and that's where the rival boy starts cheering for him. Now, we need to find this diving well in September. He leaps out over the diving well in September. That comes, I think, at the top of the right column there. Please let me know if you have any questions on this jerk lump. This is a difficult question to get through for sure. And I think, yeah, line 44, second column, we have, I remembered a day in late September the year before, the last day of my swim team. So this is the year before. That's the late September. And then at the beginning of the next paragraph, line 49, the triangular backstroke flags were strung across the lanes in the diving well. My teammates like to run. I jump out over the well. There we go. So the answer is G because that's in late September of the previous year. Yes, I remember. Good. I remember that, and it's said in the previous year. Good. So you got it right. You may not be super confident in your answers, and that's actually fine, especially with something like this. You're being as logical as possible, and you'll find you get more confident as that type of choice that you made pays off, and you see that you're getting right answers because of that logical process you go through. Do you have any questions? I'm going to take that up. These type of questions usually require rereading. Yes, they do. Yeah. These are difficult. That's why if you find you're having a lot of trouble reading these in time, I would say try Brady's approach where he reads the questions, or Brady likes this approach for himself, but you read the questions first and then...
That's not exactly true.
You don't read the questions first?
No. For reading?
Oh, sure. You glance at the questions first, you find the line numbers.
Yeah. I have no idea what the questions ask until later.
Yeah. So Brady looks for line numbers, and then he highlights them or brackets them or whatever before he reads, and then when he reads, he can do those questions as he goes. And when you're doing that, maybe also look for the chronological ones
so that you know to think about that, because it's not a very common question, but it's a very specific question type. Who is McGlynn? Oh, is this another question? I don't know who McGlynn is. Is that one of the questions? I don't see the name McGlynn anywhere, unless it's one of the answer choices. Noob. Yes, he does. This one doesn't have line numbers. Yes, he does. Noob. Where are we looking? Number 2. What? Be nice here in the moment.
You okay up there? What's
I'm
going on?
so confused.
Don't be confused. Get glad.
Yeah, McGlynn is the author. That's helpful. I'm not sure why you're asking that question, though. Because the name is not in number 2 at all. I don't know what's going on. Okay. I think we're done with this, unless you have any other questions. But I think not. Okay, I'm going to pull this off. You two be nice to each other. All right, Bird.
All
Your
right,
fingers
Levi.
move on their own. That's right. We got more questions? Anything else you want to talk about? School is lame. Good point, good point. Very good point here in the moment. It's a good point.
It's a really good point.
Actually, I really enjoyed school.
I did too.
Yeah. Nothing ever went wrong. Nothing.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I have trouble believing that.
That's why. Imagine enjoying school. Yes, imagine it. Make your imagination real. Okay. I'm going to see if the SAT subreddit has anything for us, but I doubt it, and that's fine.
Huh. Oh, Jerklump set one.
Yerklump, passage 2. All right. All right, Bird, you're going to do this one.
All right.
Let me just see what the question number is. Oh, difference in tone. Number 18.
Thank you.
Yes, Bird.
Which of the following statements best describes the differences in the tone of the two passages? The tone is the attitude the author has towards the passage, or the material of the passage. So let's see what we got here. Passage A, passage B, optimistic. Okay, let's see what we've got. Apples. Apples. Don't forget about historian Dan Bussey. Sorry, he's an apple historian. So those of you who aren't sure what they want to do yet, apple historian is always an option. All right, so passage A. Let's see if we can skim this thing and find some possible tones. He arrived in Central Asia. He found thickets of wild apples stretching in every direction, the extensive forest with all these colors. Nowhere else in the world do apples grow thickly as a forest or with such incredible diversity. So this right here is not what Vavilov, who is the character in the story, who's a real person, was saying. This is what the author is saying. The author is clearly very enthusiastic about this apple forest in Kazakhstan.
Extraordinary prescience and few facts, he suggested. Okay, so he's also very admiring of Vavilov. He says that this guy is a pretty smart guy who's, unfortunately, his theory would remain mostly unknown for decades. So it's sad. This guy was onto something and people didn't really listen to it. As he predicted, now believe that all the apples are direct descendants of the wild apples that evolved in Kazakhstan. Yawn! I'm tired. I'm not bored. I'm tired. It's different. Okay, so knowing that, let's see if we can eliminate some options here. Passage A is defensive. Passage A is solemn. Passage A is celebratory. And passage A is accusatory. Passage A isn't defensive. Passage A, they're excited about Vavilov. They're saying, oh my gosh, what an extensive forest. Too bad this guy didn't have his theories more widely known during his life. But there's no he's not on the defense. Solemn is like sad. It's like a sad occasion. Nope. Celebratory. Potentially. I don't want to eliminate that yet. What if you don't know what solemn means? Well, you should only pick a word you don't know if you are confident that all the other ones are wrong. So, okay, let's say you don't know what solemn is. So yeah, maybe it's that. But we've already eliminated A. All right, H, it's celebratory. Seems like he's pretty excited about Vavilov, so that might be a good choice. And then accusatory, accusing someone. There's no accusing here. There's no accusing. So right there, even if you don't know solemn, F and J are out of the mix. If you do know solemn, you'll know that it's not solemn, which means H has to be the answer here just based off of process of elimination. But let's say you didn't, so we have to look at passage B as well. And we've already ruled out F and J, so we have is optimistic and cautionary. All right, so he's widely regarded, so it's about the same dude. Lots of seeds, good. It's not surprising. Okay, here we go. But knowing exactly where our food comes from, geographically, culturally, and genetically, is of paramount importance to the rather small portion of our own species that regularly concerns itself with the issue of food security. So they're talking about here that there have been famines, plagues, crop diseases, things like this. Yay, Vinroy! Goodbye! It was great to see you.
Bye, Vinroy.
Lost from the American table. There's lots of apples that we're not making anymore. We're whittling down the resilience of our fields. It's kind of scary. It's saying apples are not the most secure of foods that we grow right now because we're whittling away the crop diversity. So it is cautionary. It ends on we're losing apple varieties. It doesn't end on an optimistic note. It's saying that we've got to keep this center of crop diversity, which is the forests of Kazakhstan, alive and well, because we may have to come back someday to get some new strains of apples if the ones that we currently are growing are somehow defeated by plagues, crop diseases, famines, things like that. So the second one is cautionary. Maybe you don't know solemn, but you know that this is not optimistic. Passage B is not optimistic. It's kind of scary. So that way you can eliminate G. Process of elimination. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. All right. That was fun. Having a good time. Are there any other questions? I will turn this off. Are there any other questions? If not, Levi and I don't know what I just call you. Levi and I will bid adieu if there are no more questions. If there are more questions, we will not bid adieu. Did you do that without reading the whole passage? Jerklump, I have read the apple passage many times.
Many, many a time.
Yes.
We've read all of these many times.
Yes, Alma-Ati is the city in Kazakhstan that's known, that name translates to like father of apples or something. Yeah.
And apple actually translates to
Apple.
son of Minya, something.
Son of what? Minya?
Well, whatever the name was. I just don't remember what name you said.
Alma-Ati?
Alma-Ati.
I'm not sure I'm saying it right. Oh, you just skimmed it super fast. Yeah, well, I did for you, but I've read it before.
I think Brady and I could very likely not read any of the passages and get most of the questions right just based on what we sort of remember about them and remembering answers also.
Okay. It seems like we're out of questions. You're out of questions. So when we can't eat questions, then we need to hibernate until the next stream.
Correct. Just a warning for those of you who are going to be watching us this week. Thursday is Halloween. We will be... can we ask you questions about a different test? You can send us the questions. We will post we will try to answer an equivalent question because we can't really use the questions from different tests that are not legal. So...
different type of test. Different type of test? If maybe there's overlap, like if you're taking a math test or a grammar test.
What kind of test are we talking here?
Yeah.
Sorry. Que tipo de testo? No, that's not.
Quel type de test?
Que tipo de examen?
Oh yeah. Quel type d'examen?
Eczema?
Examen.
Is that French?
Yes.
Oh.
Eczema is French.
Is that where we get eczema from French people?
Yeah.
Never mind. All right.
Okay.
Well,
we
I don't know.
don't know.
Wish you a
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas
We
time. We wish
you a
Merry
time.
time.
Well, I think that does it for about all of us here at
It
Nerdish.
does it for over here at us Nerdish.
You stay classy, Nerdish viewers. And keep yourself in very low numbers. We love just
You.
5.
All right. Have a good night. Yes. If you're back tomorrow, Jerk Lump, bring questions.
Jerk lump, jerk.